Two drivers, one racetrack, one moment of pure rage, and another moment that gave an entire fan base chills. Martinsville just delivered the most emotionally whiplash weekend NASCAR has had in years. And if you missed it, don't worry. We're breaking down every second. Because this race didn't just hand out trophies, it shifted seasons, exposed cracks, and reminded us exactly why short-track racing is the most brutal test in motorsport. Let's go. Lap 324. Late race. Martinsville Speedway. The kind of moment where one decision can define your entire season. Bubba Wallace comes off a restart, and instead of racing, he goes to war. He drills Carson Hocevar from behind. Once, then again, then just drives straight through him. No hesitation, no second thought. Just pure, unfiltered aggression in the middle of turn 3. The carnage was immediate. Cars stacking up, the field folding into itself. A massive pileup ripping through a huge chunk of the Cup Series field, all in the span of about 3 seconds. Now, here's where it gets complicated. When you watch the replay and watch it closely, Hocevar didn't do anything that clearly warranted that response. Yeah, they went 3 wide into turn 1 earlier. It was aggressive, but what Wallace did, that was a nuclear escalation. And Wallace knew it. He admitted it himself on Fox Sports with Jaime Little afterward. I misjudged. I didn't mean to turn him. But here's the thing. Intent doesn't fix a wrecked race car. It doesn't fix a 36th place DNF. And it definitely doesn't fix what this has done to his season. Just a few weeks ago, Bubba Wallace was second in the point standings. Second. He was building something real. And now, he's dropped all the way to 11th, 2 straight finishes of 34th or worse. The momentum that took months to build, gone in 1 lap. Hocevar somehow scraped together a 15th place finish, which, honestly, is one of the most quietly impressive results of the weekend given what happened to him. But that's almost beside the point now. The real question is, what happens inside the 23XI racing garage after this? Because the drivers around Wallace on the track, they're going to remember that move. Short track memory is long. The Easter break is coming at exactly the right time. Wallace needs to reset, refocus, and get his head right before Bristol on April 12th. Because right now, a season that looked like a championship contender is starting to look like a rescue mission. Now, let's talk about the complete opposite side of this story. Because while one driver was falling apart, another one was quietly putting together one of the most perfectly executed race wins we've seen this season. Chase Elliott. Win number 22 of his career, and it was a chess match from start to finish. Here's what made it special. Elliott wasn't even dominating. He started 10th, spent most of the race fighting outside the top 5. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin was absolutely in the zone, started on pole, led 292 of the first 317 laps. If you were watching in real time, you probably assumed this was Hamlin's race to win. And then crew chief Alan Gustafson made the call. Lap 312, Elliott pits, earlier than everyone else. It's a gamble, the kind of strategic move that fans celebrate when it works, and absolutely bury when it doesn't. And this time, it worked perfectly. A caution comes out. Elliott suddenly has track position. Ross Chastain briefly took the lead by staying out, but Elliott hunted him down, got around him, and never looked back. He led the final 69 laps and held off Hamlin at the line by 0.565 seconds. That's Martinsville pressure. That's what the last 69 laps of a short-track race feels like. The top 5. Elliott, Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs, William Byron. But the real story is what this win means. Rick Hendrick called Gustafson that very morning and reminded him this is a marathon, not a sprint. That mindset carried into every strategic decision Gustafson made. And it paid off. with a trophy. And here's the detail that will give you chills if you're an Elliott fan. This win came almost exactly 11 years after Chase Elliott made his Cup Series debut. March 2015, Martinsville. He finished 38th that day in a race that was won by Denny Hamlin. 11 years later, same track, same competitor, and this time, Elliott wins and beats Hamlin doing it. That's not just a win, that's a story. Before we get to Bristol, a couple of things worth watching. Tyler Reddick is having a massive start to the season in a contract year with 23XI Racing, and Hamlin has already hinted that a new deal is in the works. Keep an eye on that. And NASCAR just dropped the 1-5 nominee list for the 2027 Hall of Fame class. Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle among the names. The sport is always building its legacy, even while the current season plays out. Now all eyes turn to Bristol on April 12th. Kyle Larson led 411 of 500 laps there last April. 411 laps. If Elliott is feeling the momentum from Martinsville and Larson is back in that form, Bristol might deliver its own set of fireworks. One race. Two completely different legacies being written in real time. Bubba Wallace has to look in the mirror and figure out how to salvage a season that's suddenly on life support. And Chase Elliott just reminded everyone, including himself, that he is still very much a championship caliber driver. That's NASCAR. The chaos and the beauty, always on the same track, always on the same day. So tell me, was Wallace's move on Hocevar a racing mistake, or was it something more than that? And does this Martinsville win change how you see Elliott's 2026 season? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you're new here, this is NASCAR Nation Report, and we talk about this sport the way it deserves to be talked about. Hit subscribe. We're chasing 11,000, and we're not stopping. Thanks for being here. See you at Bristol.